Welcome, everyone. I welcome you all in today's Health Talks with Experts on a very, very close to our heart topic that is about the crucial role of parents in the child's mental health. And I'm truly grateful to everyone for being present here. Thank you so much for joining in. I welcome you all in this month's today's Health Talks with Experts. And let me just give you a little brief about Health Talks. So we have started Health Talks in June 2020, and it's been successfully running 3 years with more than 40 plus health talks with experts that have come from various uh, uh, segments of the health and wellness industry, where we have addressed very burning issues. People, those who have been sound healers, sujok therapists, parenting coaches, relationship coaches, productivity coaches have come on our platform, and they have shared their immense knowledge and wisdom with every one of you, and they have helped people to overcome their health challenges. So it is a health talks with expert of an expert series here. I welcome you all. It's an initiative by Yuktanes, and I'm truly happy and grateful to our today's health talks with experts panelist, our renowned panelist. Let me just share a little detail about him. Before that, I would just like to give a little introduction about myself. That who am I? I'm a founder of Yuktanes, and I'm a breath coach, women wellnesspreneur, and I'm founder of Yuktanes as well as Wellness Abundance Hub community, which is a community of conscious and right breather. I have loads of certification in my kitty, but more than that, I would say I have more of a life experience working with life and working with people that has helped me immensely in this breathing fitness journey. And I'm on a mission to help people to breathe right, breathe consciously, overcome their stress and anxiety issues, and attain mental peace and lead a very fulfilling life. And just by doing what? Just by focusing on their breath, the way you breathe. Just by mastering your breath, you can master your life. I could have done that. I am in this pursuit of doing this, and this is what inspire me, and this is what inspire me to help you to connect to this power, this prana, that is vital for every one of us. So are you all ready for today's health talks with experts? Before I bring upon here our today's eminent panelist, if you are ready, just message me here, ready to welcome our eminent panelist, Bimal Raj. Let me just share about him. So I'm truly honored and grateful to present to you all our eminent panelist, renowned panelist, Commander Bimal Raj. He's a multi-award winning mindset mentor, executive coach, known for his transformation work in the realms of personal and professional development. And he has more than 17 years of distinguished career in Indian Navy, where he rose from the rank of commander. And his journey has been a journey of leadership, discipline, and relentless pursuit of excellence. He have done various courses, and I have been very grateful as he has shared one of his podcasts. That is the name of the podcast, is that I would certainly recommend every one of you to go and check out his podcast, Awkward Talks. Please go and check out, where he shares a lot of life experience, life lessons with every one of us. And he is also an author of book What Next. He has been on the panel of TED Talks, also TEDx Talks, and he works with people uh, at a very deeper level, and his only zest is to bring the best out of the people. And he is serving on his mission. So before any further delay, I would like to bring upon Commander Bimal Raj here on our panel. And before that, I want every one of you to please welcome. So everyone, please message here, welcome. And Commander, here we go. Please join in.
Thank
Great
you.
to
Thank you so much,
you.
Yukti. Can everyone see me and hear me clearly?
Absolutely.
Okay, all
We
right,
all
all right.
can see you, hear you.
Okay, very glad to be here. Yukti invited me, and parenting happens to be my passion, and I've been studying parenting for more than 2 decades. I've done a lot of live parenting workshops. I've done live workshops for teenagers, and it's been an amazing journey. And I started learning parenting purely for selfish reason, not to teach. I had certain experiences while I was in the hospital, and that made me take a decision that I wanted to really focus on bringing up children. I was not even married that time. So that's how I
Wow.
started. That's how I started. And later on, it was maybe a decade back that I started teaching to other people.
Awesome. Never knew that even before you got married, you were into this. Wow, that's amazing. What
Yes.
bring you here in parenting? What brought you here? What excited you and brought
Oh,
you here?
actually, uh, I had in '98 while I was in the Navy, I met with a very serious accident. I had a head-on collision with a truck, and I was in the hospital for 2 years. So
Oh,
while I was in the hospital, I had officers next to me. I was completely bedridden. I had rods going in here and there, and I was completely tied to the bed. And these old people, they like to talk. Okay, initially I was irritated because I was already in pain. I said, why are you adding more trouble to my life? Then after some time, I realized that they're talking about after 60, 70 years of life experience. And that's when I started listening. And two people actually completely changed my approach. One was a retired Commodore. He had done extremely well in his service, very tall, lanky fellow. And every time he used to talk about his career, he used to be very excited. Say, Bimal, I've done this. I was the first director of that, this and all. But every time he used to talk about his family, he used to be very sad. So he had two sons, and he was there for about 10 days. They didn't come even once. His wife used to come every evening, but children didn't come. And in the afternoon is when after lunch they get very nostalgic and they start talking for. And one day he said that, Bimal, I've done a lot in my life with respect to career, but if I had to do it all over again, I would do it differently. He said I would spend more time with my kids and my family, because if I had done that, when I needed them here, they would have been here. He said, never make that mistake in your life. It was just a normal conversation for me. What happened, interestingly, was that immediately after he got discharged, another officer came on the same bed, okay, next to me. And he retired as a lieutenant commander. Means he didn't do extremely well in his career and all. He was a short, balding fellow, had a paunch, and he used to keep cracking jokes throughout the day, very happy all the time. And in the evening, there was one big Pulton that used to come. His two daughters, his son-in-laws, his 3, 4 grandkids, his wife, and the kids used to climb on him. And they refused to leave till the nurse at 8 p.m. would come and tell them that, no, you have to leave. Visiting time is over. And this happened every single day while he was there. Okay.
wow.
Interestingly, he didn't know what conversation I had with the previous officer there. He also got nostalgic, and he also started sharing that, Bimal, I did my best in my career, but for me, family was everything. But I'm happy I focused on my family, because today my children love me so much that they don't let me buy even my pajamas. He said, at this point in life, what more can I ask for? Okay. And that hit me like another truck, because he doesn't know the conversation I had just maybe a few weeks back, and the stark contrast of two people who had completely different priorities in life. And I was seeing the result of it. And it's just very rare for us to get at such an age. Okay. And for
Wow.
me, I was in my 20s, and happiness and success, everything for me was career, job, making money, high rank and stuff like that. And I had difficulty sleeping that night. And I think that's the time I decided that, irrespective of what I do and who I become, family is going to be the center. And I wanted to make sure that I bring up my children in such a way that I have a great relationship with them. And thankfully, I have a daughter, and I think we have an absolutely amazing equation. And we have conversations not just about dad, daughter, but as normal human beings, we talk about life, we talk about our aspirations, dreams, and everything. And it's beautiful. It's paid off. So I'm very happy about that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now I understand that how a young lad, not even married, and got so interested in, the child upbringing and, taking care of kids. And this is very interesting. The start has been is very, very interesting. So the stage is all yours, Vimal. Just go out and you can just continue with what you would love to share with us with respect to today's topic, and just floor us with your stories. We are all for your stories and experiences.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover certain aspects of parenting. See, parenting is very vast, and it is very counterintuitive. Okay, a lot of people think that see, one of my favorite quotes, which I keep telling, is that we are using 19th century parenting techniques, which were used on us to bring up 20th century kids, and we are trying to prepare them for the 21st century. Obviously, it's not going to work. Okay, things have changed so rapidly in the last couple of decades that we have to understand what's going on and how we can do. But there are certain general principles that I would like to share. And any queries, any questions that you have, please feel free to ask, because I don't have so much time to explain each and every aspects of it, but I'm going to cover a very generic aspect of parenting, covering a lot of pointers. All right. So I have prepared a
Yes,
deck. I will share
absolutely.
that.
Sure.
Okay.
So, all the participants, those who are here, be ready with your questions to shoot to Bimal. We'll take each and everyone's questions for sure.
So I wanted to ask: are we going to have Q&A in the end after I go through everything, or are we
You can
going to? We can
go with the flow in the between also, not an issue.
Okay. Okay. All right. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So this is what we are going to be talking about. Okay. So the role of parents is extremely huge. 1 minute. Let me just set these windows. There are too many windows open in front of me. So, okay. So a lot of parents say that, it is the media, it is peer pressure, it is a lot of external factors. No, there's nothing more important to a child's upbringing, their values and everything, than how we as parents interact with them, how we as parents live our lives, and how we as parents, just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Sorry, there was some disturbance. They didn't realize I was in a
No.
webinar, so they're having a conversation. Okay. Uh, so that's the most important part. And research after research, studies after studies have shown that nothing has more impact on a child's life than their own parents. I mean, we may blame everything else, but the fact is that it is going to be on us. Okay, so I'll just show what we are going to be covering. We'll cover basic points. We'll understand the importance of mental health in children, and our role as parents in nurturing children's mental health specifically. And I'll discuss some effective strategies that can help create a good mental environment for your kids to flourish and thrive. Okay. And obviously, these days we are busier than any other time. We tend to have lesser time with our kids. So it's very important to understand the warning signs, what happens with our kids. And if you are seeing some of this, then it is important to take action. Okay, because we never heard of, when we were growing up, we never heard of teenage kids committing suicides at such a rapid rate. But today it's like, I mean, few weeks back, we had, in 1 week, I came to know of 3 teenagers committing suicide, 2 in very near to our home itself, and 1 in Chennai. And it's not fair. Okay. And so as parents, we need to do our best to make sure that this doesn't happen, because it's the worst thing that can happen to any parent. Nothing is more painful. All right. And then we'll have our Q&A. So let's talk about the importance of mental health in children. Okay. Now, understand that we, unfortunately, everywhere, in fact, even in our country, we have certain stigma with respect to mental health. We feel that ki nahi, mental health matlab pagalpan hai, no, there's something. What do I tell other people if my child is going through some mental depression or something like that? And till the time this attitude does not change, it becomes very difficult, because we see, if our child has a fever or something else, we don't mind telling other people. We don't think twice before going to a physician or a pediatrician or the right doctor. But when it comes to mental health, we have that resistance ki हाँ यार नहीं, लोग क्या कहेंगे, किसके पास जाएंगे, वो सारा चुप चुप के करना है. We have that mindset, unfortunately, and we need to get out of that first. Okay, because mental health is as equal or even more important as physical health these days, and you need to understand and accept that fact about mental health. All right, because a child's mental well-being, it's going to impact every development of the child, whether it is their studies, whether it is their relationships in the future that they develop, the success that they have, their self-confidence, their self-esteem, who they become. Everything has an impact on the mental well-being while they grow up. It's like having a plant. Okay, you can plant a plant, but unless you give it the right environment to develop, you water it nicely, and most importantly, you have to remove the weeds when you see them. You have to make sure that it has the right sunlight, not too much sunlight, but the right sunlight, enough shade, not too much shade, but enough shade. So it's the same, and that's what we have to create as parents, and that is what we are going to be talking about, the parents' role. Okay, so. Our aim is that our children must develop into healthy, self-sufficient, self-confident, self-driven individuals. Yes. Now, if you agree with that, type agree in the comment box. Is this what you want from your child? See, there are two things. One is, I want my child to do well in school. I want them to get high marks. I want to get good job. Yes, that is there. But which is more important for me? The first one or the second? Type in the chat box. Okay. Okay, at least one person.
Yeah, every one of you can type in, guys. Come on, be attentive. Yeah, first one. Okay, great.
First one. So I'm assuming that most of us want the first one, because I definitely want the first one, because without the first one, the second one is of no use. Okay.
True.
I've seen, I've attended a lot of personal development programs, and I've seen during certain intense processing, 40, 45-year-old adults coming on stage and weeping and saying that my parents did not let me be who I am, or they didn't let me do what I wanted to do. I've heard people say that I hate them. It's a very sad thing to hear from a child about their parents. Maybe they're saying it at the heat of the moment, but the fact is that there is a lot of emotions behind it. Okay, I can understand if a teenager is saying that, just comes out, but a 40, 45-year-old guy saying something like this, that means there's a lot of pent-up emotions, anger, resentment that is built over the years because of whatever environment that we were subjected to. So the first thing as a parent is to create a nurturing environment. There's nothing. That is the first and the most important role as a parent towards the family, towards your child. Okay. First is safety. The child should feel physically safe. That we normally ensure that unless it's an abusive home, which unfortunately also happens uh, in these days. But more importantly, they should feel emotionally safe. Emotionally safe is when when they feel confident that they can talk anything and everything, and they would not be put down, they would not be shouted upon, and they are able to express their thoughts and emotions freely. Because as a teenager, they go through a lot of physiological changes, psychological changes, emotional changes. Hormones are all over the place. It's a pretty messy affair going on inside of them. All right, and they need to vent it somewhere. Okay, and most of the time, we all know that we tend to vent in front of people whom we can depend upon. And for a child, the family happens to be that place. Unfortunately, when the child normally vents, we try to suppress, we try to put down, we try to correct them and shout at them. That's what happens. So the first and the most important thing as a parent is to create a nurturing, the right environment for your children. Okay. If you agree with me, type agree in the comment box. Sorry. Okay. Anybody typing agree? Parents tend to impose their dreams. That is so true, Mr. Radesh Suresh. We feel that we did many times, we feel that we did not get the chance, we did not have these opportunities. Now, I want to give all those opportunities, not only give the opportunity, I want to thrust those opportunities on our children and make sure that they enjoy it. Radha is a lady, I'm sorry. Radha Suresh. Oh, Suresh has been trying. Thank you. Sorry, Radha. All right. Uh, so you're absolutely right. Okay. So many times we don't even know what the child wants. We just feel that कि हाँ इसको अभी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है वो when she grows up, then she will thank me. No, that's not going to happen. You need to understand what they want, your dreams and their dreams could be different. The whole idea is for them to be have their own identity, not become a parchai of your identity, not become the flag bearer of your dreams and aspiration which you had for your life. The world has changed, opportunities have changed, the challenges have changed, so they will have different priorities. Now, are you willing to accept them? Is the question, and not just accept them and encourage them, even if it's in conflict with yours. Understand what I'm saying? All right. So that's the first one. Second one is communication. Now, communication is extremely important for the simple fact that everything gets conveyed through communication. All right. Now, there are a couple of things that you need to understand. One is, and when I talk about communication, I'm not talking about communication when everything is fine, everybody is happy, and we are sitting and chatting around and stuff. I'm talking about communication that happens between you and your child when they don't do what you ask them to do, when they just laze around, when they just lie at one place and they don't even do something that you ask them for the 10th time. At that point in time, how do you talk to them? Okay. Normally what happens is that you shout at them, you give them big lectures, you give doomsday conspiracy. Agar aisa chale na, if you keep doing like this, I know what you will become. You understand what I'm saying? How many of you have done that? Be honest. Conversations were laced with all these things. You put them down, you shout at them, you call them names, lazy, idiot, good for nothing, and all those things. We do it. Whether you agree or not, it's a fact that the 99% of us do it. All right. Now, see, understand one thing, that if your child is a teenager. Now, how many of you can you just type down the age of your child so that I get a perspective? So how many are teenagers and how many are smaller kids, grown-up kids? Can you just type down the age of your kids? Just a number, 23, 21, okay? 18. 17 and 12, 8, daughter 3 years, 17, 9, 8, 14, 11. Yeah, Fantastic. Mostly teenagers, 36 and 33. Wow. 8 and 12. Oh, I see mostly teenagers or preteens. And this these number of years are the most crucial. Okay, these are the most crucial when the maximum amount of development is happening in their, not in their brain, physically, in their brain as well as emotionally. And this is the time you have to be extremely careful with them. Now, one of the things that we keep doing is that you have to help them take decisions when you communicate. We normally communicate to alter behaviors. Okay, you tell them, okay, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. We think we are creating individuals who are well behaved. Now, what we need are individuals who can take decisions based on the available inputs they have. Okay, now we control them, we guide them so much that they become incapable of taking their own decisions. Okay, so if they are going out for a party, you decide what dress they should wear. If they are going out for something, you decide which school. Yes, I understand they may not understand at young age which school they should go, but we go to the extent of deciding their friends also. Okay, and we tell them, do this, do that. Now, after some time, when they are into their teens, parents start complaining that they are not listening to me. They listen to their friends. They're not. The fact that you have trained them like that. Okay, you have not trained them to listen to their own conversations and take a decision. You have always made them dependent on somebody external to tell them what they should do. Okay, and while they were young, that external factor happens to be you. Okay, they've always listened to you, looked up to you to decide what I should do, what I should not do, this way I should go, which way I should go. Now, once they're in their teens, they're doing the same thing. It is the only difference is that the people whom they're listening to has changed. So if they're young, help them come to their own decision. Give them options. I mean, I'll give a small example. If they're going out somewhere, let them choose what they want to wear. Okay. I mean, appropriately. If they're going for a very traditional bhajan or something, they can't wear torn jeans and stuff. You can tell them that, okay, this is the environment. So these are the kind of dresses that I would like you to wear. Okay, something traditional, and let them choose. Okay, I'm just giving you small example of a dress. So in everything, teach them to take decisions. Sometimes they will take bad decisions. It's okay. Let them take bad decisions. Let them learn from their bad decisions while they are with you. Okay, because if you don't teach them how to take their own decisions going forward, when they make a mistake, the world is not as forgiving. At least when they're kids, then they're with you. You are there to protect them. When there is a fallback, when there is a setback, you are there to nurture them and bring them, help them back on their feet. It may not happen when they're adults. So instead of telling them exactly what they should be doing, you help them form their own opinions. Help them to listen to their thoughts and opinions. Teach them to understand context, teach them to understand what could be considered right and what could be considered wrong, so that they have an understanding of how they should be thinking, what decisions they should be taking. You understand what I'm saying? If you agree with me, type agree in the comment box. If you disagree, you can type disagree also. All right. Okay. All right, makes sense, I hope. All right. The next one is about building resilience. It is a lot of what I shared just now already. See, we keep talking about we should prepare the child for the road and not the road for the child. And it is the same thing that I was talking about. Stop deciding things for them. And especially once they come into teenagers. All right. Now, you need to understand how their brains function, or what the internal developmental have internally, what is happening. Okay. So when a child becomes a teen brain is very different. Okay. Now, the way they process information is very different. Now, if you tell a child, okay, small child, when they go out, tell them that, okay, be back at 8 o'clock. And the child will ask somebody, whether it is somebody else out there at in the field, and they will make sure, find out the time and be back at 8 o'clock. It's very straightforward. But when they come into teenagers, they start developing abstract thinking. That means thinking beyond instructions. So you give the same instructions, let be back by 8 o'clock. A 14, 15-year-old down there, he knows or she knows it is going to be 8 o'clock, but his friend needs something very urgently and he or she needs his help. Okay, now at that point in time, he will process and he will decide, okay, this is more important than being back at 8 o'clock. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why when you tell smaller kids 8 o'clock, they're generally back at 8 o'clock, but it doesn't work with the older kids. Now, second thing, what I need you to know is that as a child grows into teenage, they have two parts inside of them. One is a baby self, which is always there. Even we have a baby self. You know, when I go to, I'm 50. But when I go home, I become a child with my mother. Okay, I will just sit and demand stuff because not being arrogant, but I just love that attention from my mother. Okay, and she also loves it because she gets to see me just once or twice a year. Now, so that baby self is always there with us, but they start developing an adult self when they get into the teenagers. They want to establish themselves as adults. So when they want to do that, one of the first things they do is that they want to get away from everything that reminds them of their childhood. And unfortunately, the biggest reminders of their childhood are us, the parents. So they want to get away from us. So they try to put down their adulthood, stamp their adulthood for themselves and to us in different ways. One is they will disagree with everything most of the things that we say. They will get into arguments. They will stay away from home. That is being away from the childhood. Okay. Now, boys tend to physically separate from family parents by staying out with their friends most of the time. Okay, that is where their idea, they know the way teenage boys talk with each other is very different. They discuss serious things and their ideas are valued among the peers and they have good discussion. That doesn't happen at home. Yeah, nobody calls them stupid most of the time. Now, the girls. Okay, the girls don't stay out physically so much, but they stay in the home, but they fight more, especially with their mothers, because actually subconsciously the bond is extremely strong for a girl with their mother. So to stamp that I don't need you, I'm an adult, there's a lot of fight that goes on between a girl child and the mother. Okay, have you observed any of these things? Yes or no? Just type it out.
Yeah, I want to ask, I know personally also people here, and I know that people are experiencing this, right? Yes, I was looking for such answers. So yes, if you are experiencing this, do let me know. Do let us know, guys. Yeah, if you're feeling,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yukti, just let me know when I have 5-10 minutes to wind up. Okay, because this is my pet subject. I can go for days on this. All right.
Sure,
So that's even me and my mom used to get into hot discussion. Yes, that is true. Now, another thing that you need to understand is about their brain. Okay. Now, brain has got a lot of parts, but there are two parts I want you to know. One is called the limbic brain. Okay. That is called the seat of emotions. Now, a limbic brain is there in an infant also, and it gets fully developed by the age 12. So that's where all our raw emotions come out. It just comes out. Anger, fear, any event that develop fears, anything that comes over there. It's generated at the limbic brain. Okay. The second part is called the prefrontal cortex, which is at the front of the brain. Now, studies and MRI scans over years, decades have shown that the prefrontal cortex in a human being starts developing only at the age 12, and it finishes developing only at the age of 20, 21. Okay, now this is extremely important for all of you having teenage kids, this information, because prefrontal cortex is called the seat of civilization. Now, this is what uh, rules or gives the ability to do a lot of complex human things like decision, taking good decisions, emotional control, being able to see the outcome or predict what is going to happen, social acceptance, everything happens in this part. So basically we all have developed prefrontal cortex. That is why even if we have a neighbor or a colleague whom we secretly would like to give a slap, we don't do it, because we have, even when we are angry, we can because of the prefrontal cortex, we can control our emotions. Now, your teenage kids, they don't have prefrontal cortex. That means they don't have any control of the emotions that originate in their limbic brain. All right. That is why you will find a lot of emotional outbursts from your teenage kids. Okay. Now, at that point in time, you need to know that between you and your child, only you have the ability to control those emotions. They are neurologically incapable. Unfortunately, what happens is that when they start shouting, we go down to their level. We forget the fact that we have a prefrontal cortex and we can control the emotion. We start having an argument and fight with them at their level. Okay. And that is going to damage them. Now, second thing that you need to know is that their outbursts are very transient. They have a lot of emotion, out, and they're fine. Okay, but we are not like that. Sometimes, I'll give you an example. Let's say they can say really hurtful things when their big emotions are going all over the place because they cannot control it. Please remember that. Don't take it personally. All right. So maybe you had a bitter fight argument with your child, and the child called you some names, and she walked off, and you're really reeling at that onslaught, thinking that how can my child talk to me like this? I've loved her all my life, such a sweet child she was, and stuff like that. And after 5 minutes, she'll come back and say, "Hey, Mama, what's for dinner?" They're absolutely fine, and you're like, "What's happening?" Have any of you experienced this? The sudden transformation even after a big fight. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is that when you have those hot conversations, okay, I'm not saying don't shout at them, but shout at them. Don't call them names. Don't attack their character. Don't call them. Don't tell them things like, you don't know what I'm doing for you. You don't know what your parents are doing for you. How much I'm doing for you. How much sacrifices I've done for you. You're useless. You're this. You're that. You're lazy. Don't get into all that. Okay, you stick to the point. Don't get into their character. Don't get into anything that will affect them, because those things will affect them. You understand what I'm saying? You keep calling somebody stupid, they will believe that it is stupid. They will believe that they are stupid, and they will grow up and prove to be stupid. If you call somebody lazy all the time, they will prove themselves to be lazy. Got what I'm saying? All right. So help them to build resilience through all these things. Help them to become blossom into who they actually are. Let them find their identity. One of the most important milestones during teenagers is called exploring their identities. Now, all this while they have been living based on what you have been telling them, what is right, what is wrong, and everything. Now, finding their identity is about, okay, this is what I've been told by all these people. Let me test all those things. They will try and do a lot of things. They will try and do crazy things with respect to music, with respect to hair, with respect to friends, a lot of stuff. Okay. And don't go overboard trying to control them. Let them explore. Okay. If you are calm, if you are there as a rock, as their support, you can tell them that I'm always there for you. Let them know that you're always there for them. Okay. Then they will come back into track once they identify who they are. All right. Many times we don't get to do that though. So this is what I was sharing. Prepare the child for the non-road. Okay. Now, another important thing is about setting healthy boundaries. One is that there are different kinds of parenting. One is the parents who decide everything for them, and they're extremely strict. Okay, authoritarian parenting. Then we have the other extent also, where parents are not parents, let them do everything. Okay, now understand that the child, especially a teenager, they need boundaries, they need rules. Okay, and you need to enforce them, because boundaries and rules are what protects them. Okay, now they don't have, I told you that their brain is not developed, so they're only looking for excitement. For example, they will only understand the excitement of driving a car at 200 miles per hour. They will have no concept or thought of what will happen if I drive at this speed into a wall. What are the consequences? They don't have that. They only think the first part. Okay, so they know that they are a mess. They know that they need guidance, and they don't want to shoulder the entire responsibility of handling their entire life. That is where rules come in. And it also protects them, because they don't have to take decisions on their own when they're in dangerous situations. Let's say they go out for a party, and you have a rule that you have to be back by 10. Okay, now there, different kids come from different backgrounds. They say that, no, yeah, let's do an after party. Let's go there. Let's have them booze and stuff like that. At that point in time, they don't have the burden of taking a decision on their own. They know, Are, mera baap na marega mujhe. Okay, if I go late, so it's a big burden off their shoulder. Subconsciously, they feel loved and protected and safe because of that. Okay, they will shout at you, and that externally they will do a lot of things, but subconsciously they feel safe and they feel protected. So it's important to set boundaries for your children. Don't say that ki beta tumko jo karna hai karo. Don't say that. They don't know what to do. Okay, so it's a healthy mix. Now, and also teach them about respecting other people's boundaries. Okay, that's another very important part these days. All parents have to do. If we teach our kids how to stand up for themselves, if it's a girl, how to set boundaries, what is consent, what is allowed, what is not allowed. And if you teach a boy to respect what a girl says, with respect to consent, with respect to boundaries, then there'll be less criminal activities happening in this world. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to tell you is that a lot of it lies on us as parents, teaching them these things. Another thing, one second, is this: being a role model. Now, there's a beautiful saying that says that I can't hear what you're saying because who you are is shouting louder. Now, kids, especially teenagers, they hate double standards. So you have to walk the talk. You cannot behave in one way and expect your children to behave in a different way. All right. So that is extremely important. And don't try to be some parents are like, I am the ideal person. I never cry. I never say sorry. I'm like perfect. Kids can't handle that. What kids would like to see and what would give them confidence is that, it's because they know they're a mess. Mentally, they know they're a mess. They start, see, when a kid is very small, they're very confident. You can do demo and all. You can, when somebody comes home, you can call beta, show uncle that, and they will happily show. Try doing that with a teenager. They'll never do. Why do you think that happens? Because once they come into a teenager, then all this while their parents, that is us, have been telling them how great they are and what God's gift they are to mankind and stuff. And they grow up believing that. Now, once they become teenagers, they realize their shortfalls. They start seeing other people who are better than them, and they constantly feel that they're not good enough. Okay. So, in that point in time, they're saying that I'm not good enough. So, how do I handle this? That's a constant struggle that goes on in their mind. At that point in time, if they see, amazingly perfect parents who never does anything wrong and stuff like that, it's difficult for them to handle. it's okay to do mistakes as parents. We are human beings, right? It's okay to say sorry to our kids if you shout at them. Uh, you realize that, yeah, yes, I should not have shouted in that way. I've done that many times. Okay. And it only gives them the confidence. The kids say that, okay, I don't need to be perfect. My dad and my mom, they are making mistakes and they're also pretty messed up, but I don't see them beat themselves up, and I don't see them stop living, but they bounce back and they're happy. And that means I can also be. You understand what I'm saying? So be real. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When you say role model, don't try to be the perfect parent. It's okay. Be who you are genuinely. If you make it, talk about the screw ups that you have done in your life. Talk about the mistakes that you have done in your life. That will give them invaluable lessons to grow and to face obstacles and uncertainties and letdowns along the way. Got that? So if it makes sense, type yes in the comment box. Thank you, Radha. You have been the most proactive participant. Thank you for that. Thank you, Madhavaram. Yukti, yes, thank you. All right. Okay. Thank you, Ritika. Makes sense. Okay. Next, now let us look at what are some of the strategies to develop good mental health. I've covered a lot of things while I was talking only. The first is encourage open dialogue. I spoke about creating a safe environment. I will give you a very small example that happened with me. This was my daughter's 14 years old now. This was when she was, I think, 8 or 9 years old. We are living in a different place. And one evening I was working on the computer. Now I was typing something and she came and she stood behind for some time. Normally she doesn't do that. She comes straight away and talks to me. And then she said, Acha, Acha means that in Malayalam. He said, Acha, did you have a crush? I stopped typing. And I said, why one? I had many. And her face literally lit up. And she started talking, and there's that. And today I know all her crushes and in her class who's got crushed with the other person and this thing. Because of the way I responded in the first instance, she brought up the topic. Okay. And what hit me the most was that before she left, she told me one thing that, I thought at least for 10 minutes whether I should ask you this or not. And I was like, thank God, I did the right thing. Okay, because it would have gone either way. I said, crush, what crush? Do you have a crush? If I started that, he said, no. Somebody said crush. I just wanted to ask you. And that would have been the end of the conversation. And after that, she would have never come and talked to me about any crush. You agree with what I'm saying? Okay, so when I say creating an environment, is that a non-judgmental environment where they can talk anything. There is no conversation that we have not had in our home. There's no whether it's about sex, whether it's about sexting, whether it's about sending nude pictures, anything and everything. Okay. When a few years back, I gave her a book which explained everything about sex, about childbirth and everything. And the whole boy-girl thing, man-woman thing, everything. And I told her, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And she read it with her mother. And after that, she said she wanted to read it with me also. And we started off, but we didn't get the time. The fact is that when you do this, then they will not think twice about coming and telling you or asking your opinion about the more important things like sex, drugs, alcohol, and stuff like that. Now, unfortunately, you shouted them for not putting their shoes in place every single day. You shouted them for putting a wet towel on the bed every single day. Now, if this is what they think that ki, wet towel ke liye, if I have to listen so much, how much more will I have to endure if I ask them anything about sex or boyfriends or something like that? You know what I'm saying? So it is the daily and simple, normal conversations that build the foundation to have a much deeper, much stronger conversations, which will happen at a later stage. Because a lot of parents come and say that, ki, wo sab main handle kar lunga, you please tell me how to talk to them about sex, drugs, and alcohol. It doesn't happen that way. Conversation is a conversation. It's how you build the foundation, how you build the bond. Always focus on building relationship instead of changing behavior. Unfortunately, most of the time, it happens the other way around. Most of the communication is about changing behavior. Okay. Please remember that you are not responsible for your children, you are responsible to your children. Now, there's a difference. Now, if you are responsible for your children, then you're responsible for who they are, who they would become, everything about their future. Okay? You're responsible for whatever they are. Now, if you're responsible to your children, you're responsible for you, who you are, how you behave, how you communicate. Okay? Be responsible. Okay, be like a rock. That is what they want. They have their emotions going all over the place. They need somebody who is stable, whom they can depend on, whom they can come back. Okay, so we say now, you have a harrowing day at office, and if your house also is arguments happening, you don't even feel like going back home. Where do you go? But if you have a very peaceful home, very happy home, irrespective of what happens at work, you're looking forward to come back home and be peaceful. Yes or no? It's the same thing with kids. Out there is peer pressure. There are 100 other things happening in their lives. Okay. And they want one stable thing when they come home. Don't try to be their friend. I'm very clear with my child. They have lots of friends. They will find lots of friends, but they have only one parent, and that is you. Okay. Don't try to be the cool person. Most good parents are mostly annoying, mostly irritating for them, but they're there. They're always there. They're dependable. Okay, and that is what our children need. Okay, not trying to be cool. Okay, that's one of the things that I see parents wanting to be the cool dad kind of things. All right. Now, if there is any kind of argument, first, make sure that their emotions are handled. All right. Because once the emotions are handled, then they will only figure out the solutions. This has happened with me also many times with my daughter. I remember she was much younger and she was very, very pissed with one teacher. Okay. And she was venting. Wow, she's like this, she's like that, she's like that. Normally, what we do when your child talks about a teacher like that, you say, no, you should not say like that. The teacher is right. This thing that you only must have done something wrong and all this thing. No, I just listened. Okay, it's called active listening. You just listened. You say, and you just prompt. Oh, did she say that? Oh, you must have felt bad. And after about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, her emotions got dissipated. Once the emotions got dissipated, she only came with a solution. I did nothing. I did not give her any solution. I can do this. I can do that. Oh, yes, we can do all that. And she was happy and she went off. Okay, so when emotions are high, intelligence is low. That is what my mentor Blair Singer always says, and it's true. So don't try to give them gyan when their emotions are high. Okay, it's not going to work. Let them dissipate it and they will figure out solutions of their own. All right. Now, next one. Promote healthy habits. Okay. When I say promote healthy habits, what I mean is, again, here you need to be the role model. Okay. Now, if you want your child to exercise, the first question is, do you exercise? Okay. If you want them to become readers, the question is, how much do you read? I don't read, but I want my child to read. It's not going to happen. I don't move a muscle to do any kind of exercise, but I want my child to be fit. It's not going to work. Okay, unless the child is predetermined to excel in a particular sport. I've seen that also. Some kids are for some reason, they get very interested in a particular sport and they want to do really well, and they'll go out of the way and they just need the support. But most of the time, these habits, healthy habits, are generally inculcated from the parents. Okay, I'm guilty of that. With respect to food, I like outside food. My daughter also loves outside food, and my wife throws that tantrum that you keep ordering outside food and all. Okay, so if you want to have a healthy diet, then as a family you follow a healthy diet. So I'm guilty as charged. So what I'm trying to tell you is that healthy habits is normally mirrored. You cannot be one way and expect the child to be different. Remember this line. Your child is not a reflection of you, they're a magnification of you. So if you are 2, your child will be 10 in that. Got that? Okay, next is limit screen time. Okay, I do an entire module on this actually about screen time. Now, unfortunately, because of COVID, our children have got exposed to the online world way earlier than I personally would have liked. Okay, and the online world is a jungle. All right, and that is, online world is one thing about predators and stuff like that, but just about screen time. See, don't ban them from playing games. Okay, some amount of playing games is good because it develops the hand-eye coordination. I can't play the game that my daughter or any of her friends play. I don't have that hand-eye coordination, and I'm sure none of you also have, because we've not been exposed to that. All right, so some amount is fine, but over exposure to any kind of screen time will make them very numb to emotions. Okay, their prefrontal cortex does not get developed, so they become emotionally very dry. And if you have lots of fights happening at home with your kids, their tempers are all over the place. If they are very moody, they are not socializing. Check how much screen time they have. I had one doctor, a practicing doctor, came for one of my counseling sessions, and she said, my child fights with me all the time. He does not do this, do that. My first question was, how much screen time does he have? That was during COVID. He said, he has about 11 hours of screen time. I said, yeah, you have the answer there. You stop the screen time, limit the screen time, and you will see a change. But then, see, most of us, we take the easy way out. We are busy. She was busy with her profession, so she took the easy way out of giving him the screen. Thinking, chalo, mujhe tang nahi karega ye. Okay, so you have to make your sacrifices for that. If you are taking away screen time from them, what are you offering them? Okay, but even if you don't offer something, that's also fine. It is good, and it is a must for kids to be bored. Okay, we never had television, even television or telephone or anything when we grew up, right? We had to be very inventive in figuring out how to play with stuff. We used to play with ants. We used to play with all kinds of weird things. Yes or no? We had to figure out how to be happy, how to spend time, right? So today it's instant gratification. There's no time when they are with themselves. They're always with a device, with something else. They don't get a time to talk to themselves. They don't get time to go inwards. All right. So let them be bored. Let them figure out what they want. Let them figure out something else. Just you be calm. They will throw a fit if you limit their screen time. Maximum is about 90 minutes to 120 minutes for what they want to do. Okay, they could be assigned. I'm not talking about assignments and all. That is different. When they have a lot of assignments, it's advisable not to give them any screen time after that. Okay, but limit screen time as much as possible so that they don't become less empathetic to see that the drug. Like I said, it's an entire module in itself. Let me tell you that one thing. The syringe that drug addicts use, the dopamine shot that they get the dopamine high that they get playing these video games, it's the same addiction. Okay. And the more they get into it, the more difficult it is for them to come out of it. So please make sure that you limit the screen time for your kids. All right. Next, help them with their emotions. Like I said, teach them emotional regulations. Now, some of you have small kids. Now, smaller kids, they don't know, they don't understand what they're feeling. So it is one thing good is that the challenge in trying to reduce screen time is how to encourage them. Yes, give them anything else. Let them do anything that they want except on screen. Like if they want to go down to play, let them go down to play. So that is where you have to be actively involved in that part. For some time they can be alone and figure out what to do, but they also need to be engaged in some other way. Normally we don't want to get into it, so we take the shortcut. Chalo dekh lo, main apna kar leta hu, tum apna kar lo. Don't trouble me, because what I'm doing is more important. Okay, that's a general concept with parents. So in small kids, when they're upset, they don't know why they're upset. So you can help them identify their emotions. You can say that you're angry. Yes, I'm angry. Or you're upset. Then yes, I'm upset. So some people may say, some smaller kids may say that mera pet dard ho raha hai. Okay, because of the emotion, they cannot express what they're going through and what's happening with them. So help them regulate their emotions. And like I said, handle the emotions, and then they will be able to come out with solutions of their own. Okay. So that's about emotional regulation. And when it comes to, remember one thing. Try and remember. So the son is listening and asking the same question. You will change my screen time. Yes, beta. It is not good for you. You can do anything else other than screen. You can have an hour to 90 minutes for your games and all, but otherwise, you can do something else. You can do drawing, you can do kickboxing, you can do cycling, depending on how old you are. Do a lot of stuff other than that. Okay. So, what are they saying? Yeah. So when it comes to emotions, so remember this: if your child is coming and having an argument with you, imagine this scenario, it might help you. In olden days, when one knight had to engage into a duel with another knight, they had something called a gauntlet. It's like a thing. He used to come and put that gauntlet in front of the other knight. Now, the other knight, if he picks it up, that means they're engaging into a duel. So remember, when your child is coming and trying to have this fight with you, imagine them coming and putting that gauntlet at your feet. Refuse to pick it up. And don't engage into a fight with them. Okay, you can physically move yourself out of that place, saying that you are too emotionally upset. We will talk at a later time. Okay, and if a smaller child is very upset, you can tell them to draw. That's a very good way of expressing their emotions. What are you feeling? Just draw. They may, if it is very hard emotion, they may pick up red and they make red. They will make black. They will make black. This thing and all. All these are ways of expressing their emotions for smaller kids. Okay. When older kids, just be there. Sometimes they don't want you to give them advice. They just want you to be there. They may just come and cry. They just want you to be there without talking to them, without offering them advice. Normally, when you see when we see our kids crying, we get upset. We want to solve and make sure that they're not upset anymore. It's okay. They want to cry at that point in time. Let them cry. Just be there. Okay. Next is about fostering social connections. This is very important for them to have a circle of friends, one or two really good friends with whom they can spend time. Make sure that they get to spend time with them. whether it's a sleepover, whether it is something else, if it is acceptable to you, and if there is an adult supervision and if there are sufficient children around, then by all means go ahead, let them have that time, and don't expect them to text you every 5 minutes. I've tried that, never happens. I told my child, when you go home, go to their place. I drop my child niche, said go there and call me so that I can leave, that you have reached home. 6 out of 10 times she doesn't call. Okay, it's not that she doesn't want to, just that they're so excited about what is happening, seeing their friend, they forget. It's natural. All right. But it is important for them to develop those connections. And another thing that is required, especially if you have a teenage child, is they should have one adult connection, one adult with whom they can go and vent about you people, about parents being idiots. Okay, and somebody whom they can trust, they will guide them the right way. It's very important for them to have an adult with whom they can talk all these things that they cannot maybe talk with us as parents. Okay, so these are the things that I wanted to cover. I'll quickly cover the warning signs that you need to recognize. Okay, because these days it's the behavioral changes. It's very difficult to figure out what is the behavioral change with respect to any kind of depression or sadness. Other than the teenagers being themselves is also very difficult to figure out, right? So so if you find these things extending over a period of time, them getting irritable, or there are sudden mood swings and withdrawals and they stop doing the activity that they normally used to do, like going out and playing and stuff like that, they start distancing themselves from them, then you need to take care. Second is obviously academic issues. If there is a sudden drop in academic performance for no apparent reason, and the teachers also can't explain why, and then you please try and talk to them. You can tell them about how badly you did in your academics and stuff like that, so that they're not under pressure. But take note of this. Another one is physical symptoms. Some, like I said, they will talk about headaches and stomach aches, and if they complain it regularly over a period of time, they start avoiding meals, they start sleeping too much, they don't sleep. It could be a matter of concern. Next is social isolation, where they stop going out. Like I said, they stop having fun, they cut off from friends and everybody else. Then it's definitely a red flag. If you try to push them, they may get angry with you as well. All right. Then last part is, how do you get help? First is consult a doctor to make sure that physically they don't have any issues. Sometimes your child the hemoglobin could be so low that they don't have the energy to do anything. So just get a full checkup done to make sure that there is no deficiency and it is not a medical issue. All right. Second is therapy. Therapy is fantastic. Now, especially for teenagers. Now, without making it a big issue, just talk to a certified counselor or mental health professional. They would know how to make them talk and get things out of them. Okay, find a good one and send them. Don't insist to be part of the counseling sessions and stuff like that, because maybe the issue is you only. So they need that privacy. Okay. Next is support group. Like I mentioned right in the beginning, that we have this taboo about mental health. So log kya kahenge? How can I talk to anyone? There are a lot of parents suffering from the main thing. Okay, in my teenage workshop, one of the biggest realization that all of them had that, "Arey, sirf mera nahi hai, sabka hai." Normally we don't discuss these things, because all this time the child was fine, and suddenly as a teenager they become a rebel, and we start beating ourselves up. Mera hi mathe pe likha hai, I am doing something wrong, and sorry. It's normal. So when you talk to other people, when you engage with them, you'll realize what they're going through, and it becomes a huge support for all of you. for everyone. All right. So that's what I wanted to share with everyone. We didn't have too much time, so I shared whatever I could in that much time. I hope it was helpful in the first place. And second is, if you have any questions, you can ask me. I will answer the best way I can.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What a wonderful, wonderful sharing, Bimal. I have been writing few things and I've been taking few notes also. Yes, so and we are open to take the questions. Please feel free to ask your questions. Yes, thank you so much, everyone. We are also going live. You can also check out. So don't worry if you miss a part of it, or if you wish to go ahead and you want to revise, want to listen it again. We are live on YouTube. You can check out on this link I've just posted, and you can share it with your family, friends also. What a wonderful, wonderful sharing. So I would like to ask questions since you have so much of experience. I would like to know from you, Bimal, that since you have worked with a lot of parents and with their kids also, so what is the biggest issue, the major issue you have found as a parents have with their kids? What is
No,
that
are you
one thing?
talking?
If I say that, what is that one thing parents need to work on is to have a
The
better
most important,
relationship with
yeah,
their parents,
simple. Most
kids?
important thing is what I said right in the beginning about creating the right environment at home. Home should be a
Mhm.
place where they should be able to talk anything and everything. They should, if they're frustrated, they should be able to scream in frustration. If they're upset, they should be able to cry. They should be able to do anything and everything without you trying to put them down and you giving them a lecture and telling them what they should be doing. And मैंने पहले ही बोला था ना ऐसे नहीं करने का. That is why this is this. They don't want to hear all that. Let them just express. Okay. Most important thing as parents is to create the right environment. Remember the plant. Create the right environment, then it will thrive.
Mhm. Okay. So creating the right environment, allowing them to speak, and you be a good listener. And I also
Yeah.
want to know that one thing that you have shared, don't be a friend to your kids, right? Cool dad kind of a thing, or cool mom kind of a thing. So where can you draw this line? How do we as a parent know that am I becoming more cooler with my kids, or uh, as a parent, who I am is I'm okay, like as a parent, yeah.
So it is basically, are you willing to put your foot down? Okay. Normally, most of these cool dads and cool moms who wants to be their best friend. I want to be best friend with my son or daughter. I mean, if you are, there's nothing wrong with it. But are you willing to put your foot down, and are you willing to see your child go through pain and anger and anguish and upset because you will not let them do something that you believe that is not good for them, and you explained things to them. Let's say that your child has fever and she still wants to go for a party. Okay, a cool dad would let them go because I'm the cool dad, right? Even though I had fever, my dad let me go. No, that's not what they want. They want a parent. Like I said, parents are annoying, irritating, but they are solid. Okay, they are there. They can count on them. They feel protected and loved subconsciously. Okay, so there is one question that is what I meant by don't be a cool dad. I mean, I'm great friends with my daughter. She tells me almost everything, but I know that she will not tell me everything. We all have been teenagers, and there are a lot of things our parents still don't know about what we did during our teenage. Yes or no? That happens. So, but as long as they're sharing certain things and most of the things about their friends and their feelings, if that is the critical thing. One is facts and statements about what is activities that are happening. Second level is about how they are feeling. If the friend is not talking to you, if the teacher is not doing right with them, how are they feeling? Their emotions are they sharing with you? Okay, you don't expect that much with boys, but with girls you can expect.
We
There's
have
some
here
there's
one
some
question also. Yeah. So
uh,
there's one question. My son gets irritated when his friends pull his leg, and many times he's annoyed while coming back to home. Most of the time, we end up giving him gyan. Is it suppressing his emotions? How should we handle this and guide him to deal with this? Very good
yeah.
question.
Yeah, so first of all, instead of giving them Gyan, just listen to him and tell them, okay, he said, if he said that, okay, he called me like this, instead of saying, oh, you can say that you must have been upset. That would have been really hurtful. I'll say, yes, it was very hurtful. Now, don't worry about what kind of emotion he is feeling, because if that is not right, then he will tell you, so you must be very upset. He said, no, I'm not upset. I'm angry. Okay, and then sit with him and figure out what would he like to do about it, instead of you telling him what he wants to do. Okay, many times what happens is that uh, I there was a time recently, my daughter only told me that if she was in a different school earlier, and there people used to make fun of her, and I used to tell her, beta, it's okay, be like the duck, when they are saying it because the issue is with them and not with you, and which is a fact. But that was not what was required for them. The thing is that today, sometime back, she said that, you didn't let me stand up for myself. Okay, and I learned at that point in time that she had certain ideas of how she wanted to handle it, and I didn't even listen to that part. I told her what I thought was right for her. So we all make mistakes. As a parent, you can never be 10 out of 10. If you do 6 things out of 10 right, then you're doing great. Okay, so what I would suggest is that have conversation with them. Let them express his emotions and stuff like that. Don't give any gan, and ask him how he would like to handle, if he wants to, how it makes him feel, how he would like to handle, whether he wants to uh, involve his class teacher, or what is there in his mind, and then you will get to have a much better idea of how you should take it forward, whether it is for you to help him see it in a different perspective, or whether he wants to do something about it himself, whether he wants to involve somebody else. Let him talk to him and figure out what he wants to do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What a wonderful, the outcome of this session. And I loved what you said. And I think this is the crux what you have said just now. Firstly, involved in active listening. Second thing is that asking that what would you like to do now in that situation, and helping them, because I think this will foster a lot of confidence within them rather than we telling them and giving them gap. So maybe
True.
they can only tell us the 10 solution, and then actually we are supporting our kids to build the confidence. So what
Correct.
I have found is that if we only keep on telling them, you do this, you do that, it really hampers kids' confidence. I have seen it in my life also. That's why I can say that. But later, when
True.
I realized that I have changed this, and I can share it here, not an issue, because this is what I have experienced in my life with my kids, especially with my elder son. But the moment when I started observing this, then I changed this whole equation completely. Of course, for
Great.
me as a parent, also, it's been a journey, and I
Yeah.
too have evolved in this journey
Yes,
of
I'm still
parent.
evolving. We are all evolving. Don't worry. Like I said,
Yeah, so it just,
if we can do 6 things out of 10 right, then we are doing absolutely fine.
yeah. So yeah, so I think I'm scoring little better than before as of now. So yeah. Thank you so much, Vimal. It was wonderful having you, and I hope
Most
everyone has
welcome.
enjoyed and learned a lot. I have some, really very, very aha moment I would like to share. A quick a summary of my learnings, and I actually want every one of us here present to please go through this link. So the biggest the contribution tribute to us that you can do all is, please go to this link and share your learnings. Because if you will post it here in the Zoom, it will get lost. And the best thing is if you go and share in your comment box that what has been your biggest three learnings and what is that you are going to actually implement or keep it in your mind when it comes to handle your
Yes.
kids and understanding their mental health, then this would be not only your learnings, but by sharing your own thoughts, you're actually helping a lot of other people also. So take it as your responsibility. First, a gratitude to Bimal, okay, that you have learned a lot and now it's time for you to pay back to Bimal by sharing your learnings and knowledge. And I'm gonna do the same right away in front of you also. So my biggest learning, I was blown by, first of all, the example that you have shared, the two people, the army people, how they have lived their life and the difference, the stark difference in their life. And that has actually sparked in you the parenting within you. Okay. Even before becoming the parent, right? So
Before marriage.
yeah, this was, yeah, before marriage. Yeah. So, and the other thing is, yes, we have seen these kind of cases when in fact, I have also attended Blair's programs and we have come across people very old, 40, 45-year old, and then they're coming on stage and sharing that my parents didn't allow me to do this, that, and all the pent up emotions, fears. So your childhood, uh, a, a kid's childhood plays a huge role. And I think none other than, as you have rightly said, that none other than but parents hold that space. No one else to be blamed for what the kid is doing currently now. And how we can start with was first by nurturing environment where they feel safe, they can express their thoughts, not only thoughts, their emotions, the way they are fully raw, they should be able to share. And then effective communication that you have said, let listen more and giving them the value, allow them to choose and take decision. I have seen a lot of moms, and I was that kind of a mom, very, not anymore, of course, very much worried about marks and, especially the exam time. If it is there, then all moms will leave everything in the world and they are completely focused on the kids. And I feel now that I am grown up and I've been through this, I feel that it's okay even if your child or even my child fails in one or two exam also. It doesn't make much difference or get less mark. पहली बात तो कोई fail नहीं होगा. I know that usually kids पढ़ते ही हैं. So they pass with maybe lower marks. And so if my kids doesn't study, I know I don't take stress. So this is what I truly want every mother also, that please don't take stressed out. You are taking too much stress. If you are too much worried about kids' exam, this is not the end of the day for them. Let them take their decision, but be a parent that you give them the option. If you study, this will happen. If you won't study, these will be the outcomes, and you are responsible for both of the things. So what is your choose? Choose it, leave it on them, instead of just pushing them a lot for study, for food also, okay, for food things also. So yeah, this is my input. I just got reminded of sharing. And then third thing is about building resilience that you have shared. And you have shared something very, very powerful about that, the science, that is prefrontal cortex, that starts developing at the age of 12 and till the 21. So it is our responsibility that we take care of our emotion, because our prefrontal cortex is fully developed, not there. So it is our fully responsibility that we need to understand that they are incapable of controlling their emotions. So it is who we have to control that in this whole, juggling thing. So that was a very, very powerful point for every one of us. And set and teach about healthy boundaries. That's a very, very powerful lesson, I would say, for all of us, those who are kids are growing and in teenage stage, and how to have those kind of a deep conversation about sexuality, about respecting women, and setting the boundaries for boys and especially for and as well as for the girls also, that where the consent lies. And fifth is being a role model. And yes, we are, no one is perfect, and be the way we are. And yes, but we cannot, if we want to say our kids that eat healthy and we are not eating healthy, or we are not doing exercises, it is of no use. And this I have experienced in my life fully, from me being a child and not very being active, uh, to now when I have done nothing. I always say that I have done nothing, I just worked on myself, and that has simply changed the equation in my life, with my family, my kids. I never taught my kids breathing or meditation, but to my surprise, they have their own apps, they have their own, for the people they follow on YouTube and all that. And I somehow feel that they are more, I learn from my kid. To be honest, I'm learning from my kids a lot of things, in this area of, the area I am in, like breathing, meditation, health. So my elder one keeps sending me some very very powerful videos also, and some strategies that you have shared. We will encourage open dialogue. Wonderful. Then building relationship. Yeah, this was the most powerful line that you have said. This build relationship, not focus on changing their behavior. You are
Yeah.
not responsible for children. You are responsible to your children. That's the most powerful thing. And you don't need to be their friends. They are ample of friends. Be their parents on which they can, rely on and back on, come back to them. Yeah. So handle their emotions. And I loved all the things. There's a whole big list. I have created everything. you know yeah. So yeah, fostering social relation, limiting their screen time, helping them with their emotions. And some of the warning signs that we need to focus on is behavioral changes, academic issues. If there's a sudden drop in academic issues, then we need to really look into any physical symptoms that we are finding, or any social isolation that we are finding. Then certainly we need to go and consult a doctor, therapy, or support groups. We need to. I'm a good student. Am I right, Vimal? Yeah. At least with
Pardon?
respect to the,
You're a
I'm
fantastic
a good
student.
student.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Very proud of you.
Thank you. So thank you so much, everyone, and for joining in. And Bimal, this is a small gratitude to you from every one of us here, from our whole Wellness Abundance Hub community and all the members. I'll be sharing with you the certificate of gratitude from every one of us for sharing your valuable knowledge as a panelist at Health Talks with Experts today. So thank you so much. And how you can
Thank you.
on connect to Bimal? Bimal, you can share your credentials so that people can connect to you. They
Okay.
can join your group, Telegram group, or any WhatsApp group that they have, so that they can stay connected. And
This is my email. You can, if you have any queries or stuff like that, you can connect over
yeah,
there. I
sure.
will share my links, which will give you access to all my links. Just give me 1 minute. I didn't have that with me. Okay, I got it. Okay, so if you click on this, you will get access to everything.
Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Vimal. It was pleasure having you. And yes, if anyone is here who has not in touch with me yet, and you can connect to us also, that is, you can connect to me also. Thank you, dears. Take care, everyone. Take a deep breath in and stretch your arm, everyone. And breathe out. And just say, I'm grateful to my breath. I'm grateful to my healthy body, mind, and soul. I'm grateful to this whole universe. Take care, stay blessed. Have a great festive season. Have a great Navaratri, Dashera. Enjoy with your family, friends, and kids. And this is Yuktiraj Kishore signing off with Commander Vimal. Thank you so much, Vimal. Thank you so much for joining in and enlightening us in today's session. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for staying. Thank you, Yukti, for inviting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.